Hi guys, how you doing? I hope everything is well. Everything is good with me. Yes, y'all. I've been going for a while, y'all. I was very, very sick, y'all. When I say sick, I mean really, really sick. And this is my first time back in God knows how long. I don't even know how long I was out. Y'all know I had surgery to my back. I had stitches going all the way up my spine. They opened it and all the extra stuff. But now I'm feeling a little better, you know, one day at a time. I miss y'all. And I know y'all, like, where she went, like, but I'm here now. Yeah, I wanted to, and thank y'all that was reaching out to me to ask what was going on. I appreciate it, because I was scared, y'all. I was really scared. But anyway, y'all, I wanted to talk about the situation with the Davis family. Oh my goodness, this is just a mess. This is sad because you have two sides of the family. And that's the hurtful part. When you have, a situation happened with Tyrone, you know, and the girlfriend. But, you know, the family is trying to get down to the bottom of what really happened. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows what happened, but the girlfriend, Tyrone's not here, and God. Like they say, it's three sides to the story. His side, he's not here. Her side, and the truth. But what happened is, when they spoke to the girlfriend, the worst thing you can do is lie. You know, even if you lied about something that's really small, you know, but you have so many accusations about she's not being in the hospital. She went back to the cabin to get her stuff, and, a whole bunch of stuff, going on. We don't really know what happened. You understand? I think the father should speak to the owner of the cabin and find out like what really happened, because the aunt said that when she went there, the owner of the cabin said that he seen her, the girl with the boot. She was moving out the stuff, putting it inside of the your SUV. So they said she told them she left the hospital to go back to get the stuff out of the cabin, which couldn't be true because they spoke to the owner of the cabin and he was like, not that day, because I already had rented it out. And then they said they stayed in the hotel. It is so many stories that's going on, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if this family is really close, but it seemed like they're divided. And that's not the way y'all gonna get answers or get anything done. Like, for real. I'm telling y'all. I know what they're going through. I know. Like I said, I lost three kids. Three sons. And one of my sons that I lost, it was bad. Because you do have this type of mess. You have two sides. You understand? But, you understand? I'm not going. That's one thing my family didn't do. You know what I'm saying? We stuck together, even though I'm gonna be real. It was me. It was me. I was blaming every damn body. I ain't give a damn. I was blaming everybody. But the family has to stick together. Like, for real, they have to stick together because they're not gonna get the right answers, and it's gonna divide them as a family. You can't be like that. I don't think Tyrone would want that. You understand what I'm saying? I'm saying, like, he wouldn't want that. He need answers. Like, get the answers that you're looking for. That's the only way. Y'all can't have two sides of the family. One is on her side, one is on, you know, the other side, that's crazy. Y'all all supposed to be on Tyrone's side to find out what really happened. Y'all have to be, because it's going to be confusion. It's going to be confusion. Even I'm confused with this here because there's so many different stories coming out. And it's not coming out to me by social media. We're listening to the family. You feel me? We're listening to the family and we're confused. We're like, wait a minute now. Okay, I believe, I'm just saying, allegedly, I believe that Tyrone was hit by a car. Because there's no way that this girl hit him in the head with whatever. Because the way they said his head was hit from the back to the front, there's no way that she did that in the car. Because the way for you to hit somebody that hard in the head to the front, they had to be laying down, first of all. You're not sitting up. You're not sitting up. And you would have to constantly, I know it sounds crazy, but you have to constantly hit them. So I believe that he got hit, you know what I'm saying, by a car. And that's why, that's why he was in that condition. Why his head was in that condition. You understand? But my thing is this here. I don't know what went wrong. Everything looked beautiful. That was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'm going to be real with you. I mean, it wasn't big, like the prizes and stuff. It was the thought that counted. You understand? This man, to me, looked like he loved her. Then you got one side of the family saying that he hit her in the car. You going by what she say. You know what I'm saying? They said she took a lie detector test and she passed or whatever. But I'm just saying, the homeless man said he seen Tyrone staggering. Then they said they seen, this is the part that confuses me. Because I don't know how true it is. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm only going by what the family's saying. Because the family is all over the place. They all over the place because they confused. Like I said, I know what they're going through. They have to calm down. They have to calm down. And they have to get together. And they have to collect themselves. For you to get the right answers that you need. You understand? That's y'all family. And that's the only way that y'all going to get these real answers. Not by social media or anything. I'm telling you, you're going to get the answers because I'm telling you from experience. You have to lean back and collect yourself and do it the right way and come together as a family. Y'all can't be on different sides. That don't make no sense. That's one young man, and he's y'all blood. He's y'all blood. You understand? He's your blood. Something went wrong there. Something went wrong. Even if she said, I let him out to cool off, in the middle of bubble hell, that's crazy. To me, I ain't let my man out. If he's hitting me or whatever the case may be, yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. And another thing I would like to find out, can y'all tell me in the comments, who was driving? Who was driving? Who was driving the car? Because she had a boot on her foot. So, and the way the family was saying, like, they don't let her drive, that she doesn't drive. So, how did Tyrone get in the road? I'm just saying, let me just say this here. I know I'm all over the place. What sounded weird to me, I don't know how true it is because the family is just saying a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know how true it is, but they said this from the the homeless man under the bridge. He said he seen Tyrone. All he seen was chicken wings and pizza. I don't think Tyrone got out that car with pizza and if they was arguing, if they were arguing in the car and he wanted to get let out, he doesn't know where he's at. You know, he doesn't know where he at. He just want to get out. I don't think he would get out with chicken wings and pizza. I think that's the last thing on your mind is to walk with some pizza and some goddamn gone pizza. That's just stupid. That's just silly. I just don't believe that. I just don't believe that. I just don't believe that. I don't believe he got out with the food in his hand and he just walked, you know. But I really believe that, you know, a car hit Tyrone. I don't believe that I don't believe that, allegedly, I don't believe that she did all that. I'm not saying she ain't hit him. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just going by what the family's saying. I'm not saying she ain't hit him because they did say he was staggering. You know, he was like that. So he wasn't staggering when he went to get the pizza and the chicken wings and stuff like that. But when he got out the car, he was staggering like this. So maybe he did get hit in the head. Not all that, but you know, I believe he got hit in the head. You know, but the bad part was that he got ran over. I believe a car hit him, and the people that the young lady and the man, the wife and husband that stopped, and that God is good because she was a nurse. You know, that was only God. You know, came to his aid. You know, I commend him. Like that was only God. You know, that was only God to put them there to try to help this young man. You understand? To try to help him. That was really, really God. You know, because some people probably wouldn't have stopped because they don't know if it's real. They don't know what the heck is going on. And this man guarded Tyrone's body to make sure no other car hit him, you know, to keep him safe. So I commend them, you know, for doing that, you know, like for real. Because it could have been even worse. Because they keep saying that he was found under a bridge. You understand what I'm saying? Like that, to me, how he was found under the bridge when the family stopped and protected his body. You know what I'm saying? They protected his body so he couldn't get hit. Plus his wife was giving him CPR. So, like I said, they got this story all over the place. The family got to calm down. They got to calm down. They have to collect themselves. They upset. I would be too. I know how they feeling. I know you just want to go for somebody right now. You just want to go. But you have to think. You have to think. If you want the answers that you need. If you want the answers that you need, you have to take your time and do the right thing and stop coming on social media, because usually when it comes to a case like this, they don't want you to go to social media. They don't want you to go to social media. That's fine if you're going to put up, you know, if anybody's seen, you know, the incident that happened, can you call in or something like that? But, you know, don't, y'all, you know, family going after family. The aunt is like, she on point though. I'm not going to lie. She got a nice voice. I like the way she was speaking, you know. She was speaking well, you know. And she said this is what the young lady told her. So it's just a mess. It's just a mess. I hope that, you know, they found out what really happened. But they just said, family questioned circumstances of Gainesville man deceased. Excuse me. death on Archer Road. All I really want is answers. They said all I really want is answers. Family members of Tyrone Davis Jr., a man who died in December on Archer Road in Gainesville, are raising questions about the circumstances surrounding his demise. They stated that the information that they received from the law enforcement is inconsistent and do not believe the official account of that he jumped out of a moving vehicle. See, they got where he jumped out of the vehicle. They got that where he let him out the vehicle. You understand what I'm saying? I believe that the police is only going by what she said. Because if they had witnesses, they would say the witness seen him jump out the car. You understand what I'm saying? I believe they're going by what she said. I'm going to be rude with you. Okay, here we go. According to Gainesville Police Department officers, Davis' death is not considered suspicious. They responded to reports of an injured person near the I-75 overpass on Southwest Archer Road on December 27. Detectives initially concluded that David had jumped from a moving vehicle while in traffic, which resulted in several head injuries. After several days in a hospital, Davis passed away, prompting further investigation. So let me just say this here too. When the police is saying that he jumped from the car, like I said, she could have told him that situation, but they do have cameras there. They have cameras so they can see if he jumped. You know what I'm saying? But it being pushed to jump, it may look the same. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just saying, I was just thinking in my head, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hate to think like this, but I was thinking in my head, right? That, okay, I went to get the chicken wings and the pizza, and I have it on my lap. You know what I'm saying? I have it on my lap. And we get into a spat. Now, mind you, I still have the stuff on my lap because, we just bought it. So, I still have the stuff on my lap. So, if I was pushed out of the car, the chicken wings and the food is going with me. You feel me? It's going to go with me. Because I really don't believe that he would take the food. Like, that doesn't make sense. If you're upset about something, you're just going to be like, well, you're not going to eat anything. I am going to take the chicken wings. And that doesn't make sense to me. So, it's iffy. But they have cameras there. They have cameras. Trust and believe me, they have cameras. They said, however, Davis' family strongly dispute the police account. His relatives, including his cousin Natalie Davis, argued that the injuries does not align with the story of jumping out of a car. She explained, "We were told that the hospital staff that he did not die from natural causes and that the injuries was not consistent with falling or being pushed or being hit by a moving vehicle." It kind of is like from a moving vehicle, because what in the hell can, do damage from your head to the front? That doesn't make sense. That could not happen in the car. Okay? Only way that can happen in the car. Listen to me. Only way that can happen in that car, if somebody else was in that car and he was held down and he was just bash. I know that's I'm sorry, y'all. But I'm just saying, that's the only way that could happen. That's the only way. There's no way. Even if she was in the back seat, she still couldn't do that. You still cannot hit nobody in the head in the back and crack it to the front. Like, you know, the way they say the damage was, and come to the front. That cannot happen. No, no. Only way that can happen if he was in the car and somebody else was in the car and he was held down. And it was constant beat. It was something really, really, really hard. So that's why I really believe that he was hit by a car. So I don't know why they're saying that, you know, that this could not have happened from a car, him being hit by a car. Okay, let's finish reading. She explained that we told the hospital staff that he did not die natural causes from falling and pushing or being hit by another vehicle. The injury suggests some form of blunt force trauma, which wouldn't be explained by jumping out of a moving vehicle. That's why we're demanding a thorough investigation. But that doesn't make any sense right there. Like, I don't know why the hospital would tell her that. You understand what I'm saying? They don't think a car can do that. If he got out the car and he was, you know, dazed, because we gonna go by with the homeless man that's under the bridge. He said he did see his stumbling. And he wasn't stumbling because he got hit by a car, but trust me, he wasn't stumbling because of that. Because that head injury, he wasn't getting back up. So, something happened. He probably did get hit in the car. He probably did get hit in the head with the car. He probably get it hit in the head in the car. She probably popped him in the car, like, you know, hit him in the car, and that's what made him a little dazed. But all of that, I believe he was hit by a car. Okay. They said family members also questioned why David's girlfriend was reportedly driving the vehicle, would have him on the side of the road if he jumped out. They are seeking clear answers and transparency about what truly happened that night. David's father, Tyrone Davis Sr., expressed his desire to justice and the truth. He didn't deserve this. All I want is answers to what belongs to me. I'm not asking for money or anything like that. I'm just want candles, prayers, and truth. And as a father, what more can you ask for? That's true. That's right. You want answers. So this what makes it so sad, because, you know, you got two sides of the family, and this family saying, like, you know, she loves him so much, she would never hurt him. You understand what I'm saying? Then you got the father side saying, nah, like, something went down, you know? And I don't think that, you know, I'm not saying they should go at the girl, you know, I'm not saying that. But that is your nephew. That is your cousin. Find out what's really going on. I'm not just saying, like, blame her. When I'm saying I'll blame her for putting him out the car, hell yeah. Because if me and mines, we out somewhere, like, okay, for instance, we go to Georgia. I don't know nothing about Georgia. You know, I got people live down there and all that stuff there, but you know what I'm saying, like, I don't know my way or nothing like that down there. And if he get mad at me and put me out in the middle of the road, I'm blaming him if, God forbid, if something happened to him, because, damn, like, you know how it is. It's dark as hell. I don't know my way. Cars cannot see you in the dark. So, you know, I understand. I really do. I really do understand that. I'm not saying she meant for all that to happen. Because you're not thinking you in the heat of the moment, y'all arguing and all that type of stuff. But I ain't putting my man out. I mean, they're even actually saying that he was hitting on her. Where they get that from? Huh? But they said she wasn't supposed to be driving. See, I'm confused, y'all. I'm confused. Whew. So, let's finish. Because I don't want to say anything else. They said, the father said what he wanted to say. They said social media posts from family and friends continue to call for answers. They need closure. Law enforcement officials say that the investigation is still ongoing and they are collecting evidence to determine what exactly led to Davis' demise. The family quest for clarity remains unsolved, with many inconsistent that justice and answers are excessive. See what I'm saying? Like, it's a sad thing, and I really think that, the family needs to come together and, put their heads together and, as a family, grieve together. Because, I never heard of a family, like, going on, jumping off the that side and going to the other side. I ain't going to no side until we get some answers. Like, for real. I would never, like, God forbid, like I said, I'm going to use my son, for example. My family is not gonna go on that side until they find out what the hell went on over here. We're not doing that. We staying right here until we find out what really happened, because this is not natural. This is just not natural. All this lovey-dovey stuff, we seen it with our own eyes. It was beautiful. Like I said, that was so... I even told my boy, like, that is so nice. You know what I'm saying? He had the little boxes. He had the little dice. I think it was the cutest thing ever. But I don't know what happened that they had to go to a hotel. So stuff, let me just say this here. And this is real, y'all. I want y'all to comment in the bottom, because I'm gonna go in the bottom and I'm gonna look for y'all. So, like I said, I've been going for a long time. So y'all talk to me now. Y'all let me know. When you have a person like her that was loved so much by their significant other, sometimes you can give them so much. I'm serious. You can give them everything. And you're literally making a monster out of them. I know somebody like that. I know a couple of people like that. Enough is never enough. Enough is never enough. Yes. So they can actually make this person so spoiled. So this beautiful thing that he did could have been like nothing to her. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But I've seen it. I've seen people go all out their way and they're never satisfied. But they made that monster. They spoiled them so bad to where they're never happy. You understand? They're never happy. You can just keep giving them and giving them and giving them. It's what they want. You understand? It may be beautiful to you, but if they used to you, giving them big things and all that stuff there, that don't mean nothing. All right, y'all. I'm going to go. Like I said, I miss y'all. I'm going to try to come back soon. Okay, y'all? Love y'all. Glad y'all still here. Oh, God. I'm back. Okay. Peace, y'all. Peace. I'm out. And blessings to y'all. Love y'all.
Brother Tyrone Davis Jr. My name Tyrone Davis Sr. I'm seeking justice for my son. I'm not coming on here to provoke no violence. I'm not coming on here to ask for no handouts. All I want is just answers to what happened to my son. The only reason I'm coming on here just to set the record straight because there's a lot of stuff that's being put out, which I don't have no problem with. But when it comes to playing on my name, my family's name, and I feel like this is something that had to be addressed. I was there on 12/29, December 29, 25, when my son was pronounced dead. There's only two ways you can be pronounced dead in the state of Florida. That's if your heart stopped or if you failed the brain scan test. A brain scan test was performed. Me, my mother, and my sister was in the room at the time. They pronounced him dead, and I will let you hear that. And it was asked, they told us that they were going to keep him on the breathing machine until the rest of the family comes to visit. Mom wasn't there, no one was there. It was just me and my family when he passed. I'm going to let y'all hear from the medical examiners. I'm not going to keep releasing everything that I have, but I did the homework. We went to Gainesville. We did everything we had to do. That's the reason that the ball is rolling. I was notified of my son's death almost 24 hours later. Not by mom, not by girlfriend. Like I said, I'm not on here to provoke no violence, but I want the world to know that we're seeking justice for Dro. We're not grieving for rewards. I'm going to play this here so you can hear from your...
So the autopsy is complete. The cause and manner is still pending at this time. Typically when it is pending, it's usually because we are awaiting additional information. To give you an estimate, it can take anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks for it to be unpended after all the information has been received. Okay, so meaning that the report is done? No, the report is not done yet. Because the cause and manner of death is still pending, we are awaiting additional information at this time. Cause, what does that mean? Cause of manner of death? So, yes, what will be listed on the death certificate as the cause of death, that is pending. So that means we're awaiting additional information. So the autopsy report is not complete. The autopsy is complete. That is the examination that we performed. That has been completed, and which is why he was able to be transported out of our care and into the funeral home. But our report with the cause and manner of death is not complete because we are awaiting additional information. And can you verify the death date for me? You said 12/29/2025. Yes, and that's what you have on your report for the death certificate, right? Correct. Okay, and question, is it pending because of the investigation that's going on? No, we're just awaiting additional information. I do not have specifics, but that could be lab results, medical records, information, from law enforcement, if law enforcement was involved. I don't get specifics, unfortunately, but typically all of that plays a role in us getting a determined cause and manner of death. Okay, is there any way we can get this expedited due to the severity of the case, or is it Unfortunately, we are unable to expedite anything, especially if labs are involved. That is, we don't have an in-house lab, so that would be separate from us. And it is machines that conduct those labs, so we would be unable to expedite that, unfortunately. Okay, no, not expedite. You can take your time.
Okay, so like I said, to set the record straight, that's my son. That's the hardest thing I ever dealt with in my life. You know, I'm not here to promote no violence. I did the homework. You know, everything that's going on with this case, I did the homework. You know, I'm not here to bash nobody. I'm not finna sit here and keep on repeating myself to prove to nothing in the world. All I'm asking for is answer to what belongs to me. And that's answer to what happened to Joe. Ain't no way my son go from I love you, baby, you my everything, to laid out in a bridge, under a bridge in the middle of the road with no answers. I wasn't contacted. Once again, everything that you see is going on, I respect the genocide. I have been reaching out to them. The platform that we had for the candlelight visual, we did that. The songs, we did that. I'm not trying to make it a this or that situation. I'm just hoping that I can get some answers to what happened to what belongs to me. I can't stop social media, you know, from the clickbaits and putting whatever they put out, you know, for views. This is not about no click or no like. This is my son, a real human being. I'm a grieving father. I'm not a social media person. But when it comes to the business part, trust me, it's been done. It's been taken care of. It's not about no T-shirts. It's not about all the other stuff you hear. And I'm not going to go on because it's an investigation. But when I say I have audio, video, I have reports. I went to the cabin. I'm the one, man, my team got the ball rolling. It would have been written off as an accident if we wouldn't have went 6 cars deep to Gainesville, Florida. There's a lot of things I can't discuss at this time, but stay tuned because it will be televised. Like I said, all I'm asking for y'all is just if you know some, you see some, you know, share it. If you can't contact my family, contact Gainesville Police Department. You know, like I said, we ask for nothing. We ask for nothing but answers. You know, and for us, the business part of it, my son had a policy. So if you hear any GoFundMe's, he's not no GoFundMe dude if you know Joe. He ain't no GoFundMe dude. We ain't asking for none of that. So if you hear anything about help or we need to pay bills and all that, I'm gonna leave that right there. You know? And like we do everything else, I don't understand why the cards that I was dealt didn't have no faces on them. But, you know, when you covered in the blood of Jesus, you know, nature gonna nature itself. And once again, I'm signing off from this here live stuff because it's not me. But I want the world to know I was there when my son passed away. You heard from the medical examiner. All this December 30th, that was the time frame that they left him on the machine after they gave him a time of death. And you heard it. You can rewind the live after you finished it. You know, the time of death was the 29th. And the 30th came, you know, the rest of the family made it back up there, whatever. And however that happened for them to pronounce and say the 30th, that's on them. But you heard it from the facts from the examiner, not from me. And I stand behind, you know what I'm saying, any voice, not only Tasha, any voice that's promoting justice for my son. It's the hardest shit I ever went through in my life. Excuse prayers, that's all we want. You know, if you got any information, you know, share it. You ain't got any share it to me. You know, I ain't promoting no violence towards genders or nobody. All I want is answers. And like I said, I'm a quote, unquote. Me, my mama, and my sister was in that room, and you just heard it from the medical examiner at time of death. How you getting the date of the 30th is because they gave the family time to get there, to see him. Time of taking the ventilator off, they rolled into the 30th. For as anything else, I'm not coming back on here due to the investigation, but you will find out exactly, you know what I'm saying? You know, for sharing all the love that came out to the candlelight. You know, we got other things going on, and we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop. We owe him that, you know? And that's all I got to say. Justice for Joe. That was my son, just as well as their son. He the world's son. All y'all love and support from all over the world, that mean the world to me. And that's my motivation. That's my will. That's my drive. to keep on pushing for justice for